Right now, weather data is being collected all around us at multiple hours of the day. And this information is vital for forecasts that could keep us safe, especially in severe weather and hurricane seasons. With cuts coming from the government to NOAA and the National Weather Service, the ability to forecast to the accuracy we all know and love has taken a hit. In this special report, we will show you how these cuts could truly impact you and what is being done to potentially help this situation in the meantime.
All of this data across the board, and especially the upper air data, it's really important to know what's going on if you're going to start using numerical weather prediction models to forecast out what's going to happen.
With cuts to National Weather Service staffing across many United States cities, this data is now at risk every single day. Offices have had to cancel data collection from weather balloons at times, leaving holes in our weather models when we need the full picture across the nation.
If you don't have good starting information, you're not going to get a very good result over time.
Weather model accuracy since the cuts have already shown signs of being a bit more inaccurate, which could be our reality for years to come. So how will this impact the forecast you see every day? Mike Hopkins, director of the Surface and Upper Air Division with the National Weather Service Office of Observations, explains.
The forecasters have a pretty challenging job. They've got to take a look at what's going on in front of them, which is why the observations are so important. And then look at all the observation, the model data that's coming in, that's sort of telling them what the computers are saying the weather's going to look at. And then they kind of use their own brains and their familiarity with the local area to see, based on what they're seeing now and based on they know what happens, if that's really what's going to happen. And they usually make some adjustments to the forecast. It's a complicated process.
A complicated process that, if the starting picture is inaccurate, will only lead to more changes to the forecast as you get closer to a certain day, rather than consistency with very little changes.
When we lose data, it becomes a little problematic.
Right now, it's important for you to stay informed, stay on top of the forecast, and trust your local meteorologist even more, as weather apps could be getting worse data with no oversight from a meteorologist that knows the patterns and the specific areas where you live. While we can be better consumers of the information, is there anything the National Weather Service can do in the meantime to help?
But we also have other sources of data that can fill in around that, both on the surface and in the upper air. So we use balloons. We use commercial data from other balloon companies. We use the aircraft data. We can get some information from satellites as well. So we use that to fill in the gaps and kind of minimize the loss of data from the balloons.
It is not a perfect solution, but at times it will help. And even though in the meantime we must understand what is happening with the weather industry currently and know that the road could be quite bumpy in the months ahead, Mike Hopkins also brought up some amazing technology that could be introduced very soon.
We're trying to get more sensors on planes to get more of that data. There's some really interesting developments in the balloon world where there's some companies that have built these balloons that just fly around for weeks at a time and do profiles. We're looking at drones too. There's a lot of information from drones that can do maybe not a full profile, but can do a shorter profile more often. And there's going to be some value in that.
The Upper Peninsula has been hit particularly hard by the cuts, leading to U.S. Senator Gary Peters introducing bipartisan legislation to help. In the bill, critical National Weather Service positions would be exempt from any hiring freeze, and positions eliminated in the past would be brought back. This will keep any office fully staffed and able to provide critical weather information in a timely manner, while also continuing to collect the data we need. We will continue to monitor the progression of this bill, as it would be key to maintaining the top-of-the-line accuracy we see in our forecast compared to the rest of the world. In the studio, I'm Chief Meteorologist Eric Estreva.